If you tell them that you're going to go to the daddy-daughter dances, that you do it. And consistently, every time they've told me, I've showed up every single year. So what they start doing is you start building this thing that I can trust my father, that he does.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Inspiring Beauty and Believers. I am Song, and today I have a few special guests with me. We are doing this in celebration of Father's Day, and I asked all of these men to come on and to talk about the importance of a father in a daughter's life. So I have with me my brother, Jay, my dad, Robert, my stepdad, Ben, and my cousin, Corey. They all are fathers. They all have daughters. And I think that this is going to be a very good conversation. So to start off, I wanted to talk about expressing your love. How does a father express his love to a daughter to let her know how much she means to you? Anybody can start out.
Well, there's various ways that a father can express his love through emotion, or just basically being able to secure and make her feel safe. It depends on the different age levels, because like with me and you in our relationship, you're 30 something, and the age that you are now, we express our love in a different way that we would if you were 5 or 6 years old, but a father being there for their daughter and showing her the love and affection, the true love and affection, is very important, Yeah,
I agree with Robert. I think that the age levels that you spend with your daughter dictate kind of how you would express that love. I know I have a young 4-year-old, about to be 5-year-old, and the way she would receive love right now is for me to play Barbies with her. But I got to be sure to be only Ken, because that's the only one I can be now and playing with her. Apart from that, just getting on her level, playing on the floor, painting, reading stories to her, taking her outside to experience and enjoy the things that she likes to do. So I think as she progresses and gets older, I know that the way she would receive love from me is going to change, and so I have to be in tune with that as well.
Right.
Well, what I would say, I got 3 daughters. One is 16, the next one's 12, and the last one's about to turn 10. And I like what Corey said. I agree with him. The way that love is expressed is with time, and quality time. Because a lot of times with us all being in careers, it's not as easy to spend quality. Well, not as easy to spend quantity of time, I should say, a lot of times. So sometimes you got to just make an impact with what you have. But what I would add to that is consistency, because a lot of times, and honoring your words. So if you say you're going to take somewhere, so if you tell them that you're going to go to the daddy-daughter dances, that you do it. And consistently, every time they've told me, I've showed up every single year. So what they start doing is you start building this thing that I can trust my father, that he does, that he is there, So consistency is what I would say as far as being in life, because anybody can show up every now and then, but to always show up for every single award ceremony, every single game, every single daddy-daughter dance, anytime, they asked me this weekend, can I go swimming? I had to go, we don't have no pool here, the community is closed, had to go find a private pool, but just coming through for them and showing that, whatever they need is going to be covered. So staying consistent with that.
So what I hear you saying, RJ, is that love is really an action. It's not about what you say. It's about actually implementing and doing something and being in that person and investing in that person's life, that daughter's life. Yeah, that's good.
people don't know how much, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So like,
Right.
it's an action word. You could say it all day. You know what I'm saying? Most people tell you stuff, but how many people got the follow through and the consistency to stick with it throughout a longevity? You can be a father, you know what I'm saying, for 2 seconds, but you know what I'm saying, that's not going to be enough for them because they're going to live a whole life. So making sure that consistently, you know what I'm saying, you show up in their lives.
Yeah. Ironically, I made a lot of mistakes when I was coming up as a young man and having older daughters now. One of my daughters is 40, you know, and, you know, didn't spend that quality time with her and that relationship with her that you're talking about to express that action and be able to be there for them. But she's knowing that I'm a father, you know. But and I guess that's the difference between being a dad and being a father, you know, knowing the difference and being able to spend that quality time and express that love, and rather than just saying it verbally all the time, because we do say that as human beings, don't we? I love you. I love you. But we don't express it. Yeah.
But, you know, one of the things that I've realized too in growing up, most people don't have fathers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times growing up, I didn't have my father. I don't even know who he is or nothing like that. So the good thing about that, it just depends, because you can break a generational curse by being the shortcomings you've had turn you into an actual better father. Because the one thing I realized in some of the worst situations become the best things that happen to you in life. So when you go through trials and tribulations like that, first thing I thought was, I never want my children to feel the hurt and pain of not having my actual father there, because I had great examples of father figures, which was my grandfather, my uncle Michael, and my other uncles, and people who were in my life all played a part as men in my life, but I never had my actual father. So I wanted my children to have that experience that I got robbed from. And what the bad part about that is that we don't normally know how to be fathers, or life hits us a certain way. So I had to go study to become a better father. And that's where the Bible came in, because I watched God's patience with, you know what I'm saying, with how he treats us. And that's what I learned from.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Van, what are your feelings on, I know there's a lot was talked about, but I know you have 4 biological daughters, and being in their life as their father, because you've been there their entire lives, how do you feel being able to experience and show them that love?
Well, good morning to everyone. Thank you for
Good morning.
allowing me to be able to be here with you guys in fellowship. Very interesting question. I think every father's life is a little bit different. My background is I had my father in my life. You know, he was there, so I'm well acquainted with what a good father is. However, my mom and dad did experience a divorce, but we still maintain a relationship. And I was allowed to be raised by my grandfather that was a preacher. So I didn't miss anything as and being taught what a man was. But to be more specific, to answer your question, I had put some great thought and I wrote some things down. I said, well, first of all, a father is the first man that his daughter will see. And in order for her to understand what love is from a man and how to give love to a man, specifically when she get married, she has to see that in her father. And father, hopefully, is a righteous man, because a man doesn't know how to really sustain a commitment to his daughter, nevertheless his wife, if he doesn't have guidance from the Lord. Most people in society are very biased when it comes to what love is and how you show it. Most children, the first thing that cross their lips is mama. But as it pertains to a daughter, it is critical that a daughter learns from a father what a good man is. So that bias has to be changed. In other words, it's kind of inverted. The focus on mama versus the man should be changed as it pertains to helping a young woman understand what love is. Love is about, I caveat what you're saying. It's an action word. Oftentimes I tell my wife, I say, honey, first of all, I'm a Marine. I'm a hard man, but I also have a tender side. Just because if I don't tell you every day that I love you, it does not mean that I don't. It's a fairy tale and a fallacy when people assume that tell me that you love me, but their actions don't align with what their mouths say. See, this kind of reminds me of what the Pharisees did. The Pharisees said that they loved God, but their hearts were far away. So when a father is dealing with his daughter, he tells her that he's a man. He tells her that he's going to be there, but he doesn't abide by his responsibilities, especially what God has truly given him. Now, you got two type of men. You got a street man and you got a righteous man. So if a man doesn't learn it from God, he's going to learn it from the street. And then the family, if you will, begins to suffer as a result of where he got his information from. If the father didn't have a father to teach him what a real man is, he's only going to do what he thinks. I mean, to be blatant with it, you're going to get the blood of what we call locker room talk. So men get together and say, well, this is what a man is. I do this, I do that. But then the daughter and the children end up suffering as a result of his lack of knowledge of what God expects. The other thing is, I wrote down it more importantly, both boys and girls, when they have a relationship with the opposite sex, in other words, not the mother, but the father, it has a profound bearing on that child, because as that child begin to grow, if they're unhappy, if they're not serene, if they're not healthy, and they don't feel fulfilled, it's a direct reflection of what they learned in the home or what was absent in the home. And I have a reference. I read this article by this lady named Sarah Best. She's a author, and she had quoted some of that. So I thought that was very appropriate for the question that you had put out there. She has confidence and believe that Dad is going to be there, lead and guide her through life. When that doesn't happen, it spells failure to the young lady.